Steven with Parts Doctor. In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the front drum assembly in the Samsung dryer. The tools needed are listed in the description below. Let's get started. If multiple components on the front of your dryer are broken and need to be replaced, it may be easier to replace the entire front drum assembly. The front drum assembly includes almost all of the components in front of the drum. This includes the frame, the lint filter assembly, the moisture sensors, the drum rollers, and the drum light. For this repair, unplug or disconnect power to the dryer. First, we need to get access to the back of the dryer to remove the two Phillips screws. Next, place your foot at the bottom of the dryer, place your hands on the top, and pull towards you until the top cover releases. This may require some force. Now, remove these 4 Phillips screws. Next, gently lift up on the control panel to release it, then tilt forward, being careful as it's still connected by wires. Then, remove the 2 electrical connectors by depressing the locking tab, gently wiggling until it releases, and remove the wires from the retainers. Once the wires are removed, you can separate the control panel from the chassis. Next, remove these 2 Phillips screws to remove the door. Then, firmly grasp the door and lift up and out to remove. Now, remove these 4 screws. Next, remove these 2 Phillips screws beneath the door opening. Now, lift up on the panel to release it from these 2 retaining tabs, being careful as it's still connected to the door switch wire. Be careful as you'll be working around sharp edges. Disconnect the wire by wiggling and pulling until it releases. Then, lift up on the panel assembly to release it from the chassis. Now, remove the lint filter by grabbing and lifting up. Next, disconnect the moisture sensor wiring harness by depressing the locking tab and fish the drum light wire through the opening. Then, remove the 3 screws on the lint duct and pull out and down to remove. Now, remove the 4 screws on the front drum assembly. Then, lift up on the left side, pivot out to release the locking tabs from the slots, and lift up on the right side to remove the assembly. Pull the bottom towards you, being careful as it's still connected by a wire. Then remove the wire from the retainer. If you have a bad front drum assembly and you need to purchase a new one, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com. We'll leave a link in the description below. You want to make sure you're searching with the model number from the tag on your dryer to make sure you get the correct part. Next, place the door switch wire back into the retainer. Insert the top of the front assembly and align the retaining tabs on the sides. You may need to raise the drum for the rollers to seat properly under the drum and allow the tabs to seat in place. Now, reinstall the 4 screws. Next, install the lint duct. Followed by the screws. Now, reconnect the moisture sensor wiring harness by aligning and pushing until it snaps in place, and rerun the drum light wire through the opening and retainer. Then, reinstall the lint filter. To install the front panel, start by aligning the slots on the panel with the tabs on the chassis. Then, tilt the panel up and reinstall the door switch wire by aligning and pushing until it seats back in place. Make sure the wires don't get pinched between the front panel and chassis. Then, push the panel until it seats back in place. Then, reinstall the 6 screws. With the hinge swung outward, we'll first need to start by aligning this screw with this opening and set the door in place. Then, reinstall the 2 screws. To install the control panel, start by inserting the tabs on the panel into the openings on the chassis. Now, reconnect the 2 electrical connectors by aligning, pushing till they snap in place, and reinstall the wires into the retainers. Then, tilt the control panel back in place and reinstall the 4 screws. To reinstall the top cover, make sure the rear of it, which is noted by the gray pieces, is facing the rear of the dryer. Align the top cover guides to the opening in the top cover. Continue to push forward until it locks back in place. Next, reinstall the 2 screws. With everything put back together, plug the dryer in, test it out, make sure everything's working properly. So that's it for this video. If you learned something new, hit that like button. And if you enjoy fixing things, please consider subscribing.